Today, Passiontide begins, the 2 weeks leading up to Easter. The passion of the Christ, passion in the sense of his deep thought, agony, heading towards the nemesis of his journey, the denouement. One of our set readings for today, Psalm 130. In the King James Bible it reads, "Out of the depths have I cried unto thee, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of my supplication." A comment on these times, perhaps COVID-19, the coronavirus, the world in agony, each person crying out in their own way for deliverance, whether it be a prayer to life or nature or the world and one another. Deliver us, Lord, deliver us from this time. There's a nice phrase in this psalm that's always caught my attention because it's rather unusual in that it is repeated, one after the other. My soul waiteth for the Lord more than they that watch for the morning. I say, more than they that watch for the morning. The psalmist has to repeat the phrase because it is so much from the heart. It bubbles out of him twice over. I say, more than they that watch for the morning, deliver us, bring us light, the light of morning. And that intercession, Lord, deliver us, is echoed in the Gospel reading for today, an iconic reading, John chapter 11, prefiguring the death and resurrection of Jesus. But this involves the story of his friend Lazarus, who has become ill and dies. And Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, long that Jesus would have been around and locally accessible so that he could have laid his hands on Lazarus and healed him. Strangely in the story, when word comes to Jesus, who is a little way off, that Lazarus is ill, he doesn't rush to Lazarus' bedside. He hangs around for 2 more days before he says to the disciples, "Okay, let's go now and see Lazarus." "Lord, aren't you leaving that a little bit late? Lazarus is at death's door. You've hung around for 2 days doing nothing. Why? What's going on?" And then news comes that Lazarus has died. Jesus was a bit tardy, so it seems, in his response, and then he makes a bizarre comment. "For your sake, my friends, I'm glad that I wasn't there at Lazarus' bedside. This is happening for a purpose. There's a lesson for you to learn. What's going on?" And then when Jesus does get there to Bethany, where Lazarus and his sisters are based, Sister Martha is pretty miffed with Jesus and ticks him off. "Lord, if you'd been here, you could have saved Lazarus. He wouldn't have died." Jesus takes it on the chin and comes out with one of his iconic phrases, "I am the resurrection and the life." Hang on to these words. Let them rest in your soul and go deep. And then Jesus meets Mary and the others who are in terrible mourning for their brother Lazarus. And Jesus shows that he has a very human level of empathy. He sheds tears. They drop down his face. He doesn't need to say anything at that point. The physical tears show that he feels our pain. He understands. And of course Jesus then goes to the tomb of Lazarus and commands him to come out. Lord, what on earth are you doing? Lazarus has been dead 4 days. This is not what you want to do, open the tomb. At that point, but out Lazarus comes, bound in his burial cloths, and Jesus says, unbind him, set him free. I am the resurrection and the life. And the onlookers are gobsmacked and amazed. And the text reads that from that point, many who hadn't believed in what Jesus was doing thus far, from this point on, they're his followers. And so Jesus' words have come true. What is going on is for a purpose. The pain that you're going through, yes, Lazarus died, but you'll see that there are lessons to be learned through this experience. I didn't have to hurry. I never do, because God has his ways and means. And we may rest this story upon our present times in the world. We are going through extreme pain that humanity as a corporate family perhaps has never known before. Jesus, God the divine, look upon us with compassion and weep and feel our pain. But God knows there are lessons that have to be learned through this painful test. There are blessings to come. There is a silver lining to the cloud, but we must open our eyes, read the signs, learn the lessons, reflect what is going on. What is God, nature, life trying to tell us?